Oh my God. Somebody gotta help my kid. Oh my God. Where's the doctor?
Don't worry, the doctor's right here. Hello, it's me, Dr. Mario.
Oh my God, Doc, you gotta help my kid.
All right, let me get out my pills.
What? No, my kid needs surgery. He's got a terrible wound.
Oh, well, here in my hospital, we only give out the pills. What? I'm just not that kind of doctor.
You, you can't help my kid?
That is his body infected with the multicolored viruses?
Well, no.
Okay, then I am not certified to help you.
What? But my kid.
Tell me, do you have a Mushroom Tropolis HMO or a piece or PPO?
Oh God. Even here, the medical system is trash.
Welcome to the show.
All right. And welcome back to Ruben and Cut. Today I'm trying something different. Although I probably won't upload this imagery to Spotify, you can check it out on YouTube if you're curious as to what I'm trying differently today. Aha. Take that. You have been coerced into it's not really that exciting. But anyways, today I'm talking about some movies that I saw. Oh, I don't like that. My arms don't move. That's really weird. Okay, so I'm using an avatar for this recording. I don't know if I like it or not. It doesn't look right. The facial hair is wrong, you know? And you can't see my arms move. I don't know how I feel about that. But life's about experimentation. Let's see where it goes. So, I saw two movies recently. The first of which is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. And the second movie is, of course, Super Mario Brothers. I also saw John Wick 4, which is great. Actually, all three of these movies are great. I was really impressed by all of them. Now, don't get me wrong, Honor Among Thieves and Super Mario Brothers is no Shakespeare. But as far as being adaptations of popular franchises with huge fandoms, they are above and beyond many adaptations of many different franchises. Allow me to explain. Well, I should probably talk about what the movies are, for anyone who doesn't pay attention to what movies are in the theaters. I feel like I have to be more expressive with my eyebrows. And get my eyebrows, but not my arms. What's that about? Weird, right? All right, where are we? All right, so I don't really know which movie I have more to say about, but let's go within the order that I saw them. So we'll start with Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. And let me tell you right now, if you've ever played D&D, then you need to see this movie. Simply put, the film captures that feeling, that feeling of a D&D adventure. It's got the right chemistry. It's got the right amount of fun. It's got the right amount of bickering. The only thing it's missing is someone playing that guy. D&D players know what I'm talking about. Could you count Hugh Grant's character as that guy? Maybe. I don't know. So Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves starts by introducing us to its two main characters, played by Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez. Whose characters are Edgin Darvis, that's Chris Pine, and Michelle Rodriguez's character is Holga Kilgore. One of them is Chris Pine is a spy and a bard, and Holga is a barbarian. I'm not gonna lie. For a lot of the movie, I thought she might be a dwarf because her ears, they look pointy. And I'm not. And also, her tribe had also looked pointy eared and had a lot of them had beards who were men. So, but the internet doesn't say she's a dwarf. And at later on in the film, I did see an actual dwarf. That sounds weird. Not an actual little person, but like a mythological dwarf. And so I guess she's not. Maybe Michelle Rodriguez just has naturally pointy-ish ears. I don't know. But where was I? So Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez's characters, when we meet them, they are in prison for helping to steal a very specific evil artifact connected to the evil red wizards who are touched upon in this story. And basically they discover Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez. Well, the trailer makes it sound like their first objective is to get the artifact, but it's not. It's really not. That's really something they don't even think about it, to be honest, which is weird. The real reason that they're endeavoring on their adventure is because they want to reunite Chris Pine's character with his daughter, and then also get a awakening tablet to raise his wife from the dead. So that's really what the adventure is about. But while they're doing that, there's this whole other thing where red wizards are up to no good, and a former party member of theirs who betrayed them is also up to no good. And the following adventure is it's just fun. Like, it's a fun fantasy film. It nails the energy. You know what I'm the D&D energy. If you've ever played D&D, you got to see it. No, seriously. Now some people are going to complain, oh, they didn't play by the rules exactly, which, unless you had a DM who was a stickler for that stuff, you probably didn't either. Let's be real. Let's be real. The film is a lot of fun. They eventually gather around themselves a party of many other adventurers. Sophie Lillis as Doric, who is a crap, I forget what they call shapeshifters. Actually, she's she is a tiefling who is which is kind of like a half demon thing. Although people who play tieflings always get mad at me when I explain it that way to people. But so they are a tiefling druid who has the ability to turn into animals, and that is used to great effect throughout the film. Another party member they pick up is Simon Amor, played by Justice Smith. And this guy's a sorcerer who has very low confidence and doesn't think he can do anything, but is actually more capable than that, as one would assume. At a certain point into the story, they also pick up another member of a guy who I would count as an NPC because he doesn't really stay with their adventuring group very long. Regé Jean Page plays Zink Yendar, who is a paladin. He's a lot of fun because he's from a group of people who are generally considered kind of shady, but he's incredibly noble and straightforward. And so, first of all, the movie is funny. Like, I found it legitimately funny at numerous points. It even got a couple of big laughs out of me, and I'm a laugh out of my nose kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? But it got some good laughs out of me, and it's got a nice little heart to it, with the D&D adventurers being together and whatnot. And it's just fun. Do you understand? I'm gesturing with my hand and you can't see it. It's just It's just a fun time. I don't know. We'll have to see how much they like what I'm doing right now on YouTube because I'm thinking I hate it. But I promised I'd continue to experiment with the format. So, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is honestly, I think it's as I only have one. I only have one nitpick about the movie, but I will save that through the spoilers section. Because it's a detail, but I really can't disclose without spoiling anything. So, put it bluntly, like I had no real complaints. It's full of fun action. Um, it's it's full of humor. The performances are great from everybody. Uh, it's just a damn good time. It's probably an extra damn good time if you ever played D&D. But I feel like normies are gonna enjoy it too. I don't know. You might want to play D&D after you see it. It's a good time. So that brings us to Super Mario Brothers, and I'm going to tie them both into a point in a minute. Super Mario Brothers, the movie. They tried it once before to epic failure, a disaster of massive proportions. But now they're back and they're doing it right. They're bringing us a Super Mario that, quite frankly, meets and or exceeded all of my expectations. I am not kidding. I kind of knew what I was in for when I went into Dungeons and Dragons. Like I got the vibe from the trailer. And the trailers for Super Mario Brothers, they started out okay and then gradually got better as they went along. And the movie is almost exactly what one would want from a Super Mario Brothers movie. Almost exactly. And there was a lot of stuff that I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about going into it or how they were going to handle it. And after they handled it, I was like, well, damn, that makes total sense. That's a great way to handle it. So I won't lie though. I don't know if this movie will mean a lot to anyone who hasn't grown up playing Super Mario games. A huge part of the movie and its appeal is how it brings the world of Super Mario to life. Like the characters, the world, the unbelievable amount of Easter eggs jammed into this thing from beginning to end. It's whoo. Oh man, my range of motion with this Avatar thing is garbage. But let me know if you like it in the comments. I don't know how I feel about it. If you like it, you're gonna have to talk me into it. But where was I? So Super Mario Brothers, I might as well tell you the story here. Super Mario Brothers tells the story of two upstart plumbers, Mario and Luigi Mario. Yes, their last name is Mario. I know. I know. And they come from the Mario family. But their dream is to start their own plumbing company. At the beginning of the movie, we meet them and their commercial where they have very thick Italian accents, but after the commercial, we find them to have more of like a Brooklyn type of accent. Reportedly, Chris Pratt's original Mario voice was a little too The Sopranos. Mario and Luigi are, of course, played by Chris Pratt as Mario and Charlie Day as Luigi. And while Mario is certainly not the first person I ever would have thought to play Mario, I'm sorry, not Chris Pratt is not the first person I ever would have thought to play Mario. He does a pretty good job with it. Now, some of the casting is a lot better. Don't get me wrong, Chris Pratt, like I said, does a good job with it. Doesn't doesn't ruin the movie at all. He does a good job. But Charlie Day is just perfect. Like you could say, oh, his voice doesn't sound like Luigi's, and maybe it doesn't. However, his energy is perfect. The energy he brings to the character is perfect for Luigi. Absolutely perfect. but they end up in a secret part of the sewer when there's a major flood in Brooklyn because they want to save the day. They go into this secret part of the sewer where they find essentially a sewer pipe to another dimension where they find themselves in the Mushroom Kingdom. Except on their way there, through the pipes, they get separated, with Luigi hurtling towards the Dark Lands, as they call it, which are ruled by Bowser, here played by Jack Black. Yeah, that's right, Jack Black. And let me tell you, oh man, Jack Black as Bowser just doesn't miss. Like it's it's not a casting I would have thought of in my head, but the way they handle it, you're like, he's perfect. He's perfect for this role. It's what they're doing with him and the character choices, so much fun. Jack Black is another like just perfectly cast for this part in this movie. And all right, so when Mario arrives in the Mushroom Kingdom, that's where he ends up. He meets a Toad voiced by Keegan Michael Key, who does a great job. But to be honest, they've done a lot of Either Keegan Michael Key's voice abilities are even more impressive than one would think humanly possible. I have to guess that they've done some sound alteration to his voice. But who knows? Maybe he is just that good. But he does a great job, even though, like I said, he is one of the least recognizable voices in a cast of people who sound pretty recognizable. And then it brings us to Seth Rogen and oh wait, I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. But anyways, so Mario teams up with the Princess Peach, who rules over Mushroomtropolis, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. And she does a great job as well. And they team up because they're worried that Bowser is coming to invade their Mushroom Kingdom. And they need the help of Donkey Kong's army. So they set off on an adventure to meet up with Donkey Kong and join forces. Join forces to fight Bowser. And of course, when they get to Donkey Kong Country to meet Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong is voiced by Seth Rogen. And like, that's one where I didn't know how I felt about it when I heard it was happening. However, having now seen the movie, I have to say, it works pretty damn well. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong is like, it's a thing you don't think it immediately, but as soon as you hear it happening, it's like, oh shit, that works. That works really well. And it does. So that's cool. Fred Armisen plays the king of Donkey Kong Country, Cranky Kong. And yes, all the gorillas are named. Well, they're not all gorillas, they're all some type of primate. But they are all called Kong. But their society is pretty cool, and they all ride on go-karts, which is pretty sick. I'm not going to go into any more of the Super Mario because I don't want to spoil anything. But let me tell you, the film's got some heart to it. I thought it did anyways. I know that some of the critics didn't feel the same way, but maybe that's because I'm more emotionally connected to the world of Super Mario. And I was just genuinely impressed by how much attention to detail and tender love and care was put into this production. Like, Nintendo was very hands-on from what I can tell, and their logo even appears at the very beginning of the movie, and Shigeru Miyamoto is listed as a producer and not just an executive or associate producer either. Movies make bold choices that are not necessarily with the fans in mind. And some of these movies have really paid off. They've really tested the art. They've explored concepts not yet touched by the materials that they're adapting, which is very acceptable for like things like video games and comic books, just because there's so much lore at this point. You really can't jam it all into one movie. It's better to make up your own story to a certain degree. Um, but when it comes to this Dungeons and Dragons movie and this Super Mario Brothers movie, I have to say they feel like they're for the fans. And I'm not saying every movie has to be made with the fans first in mind, although you do need to think about them, Hollywood. It's clear with some of the choices you make that you're not thinking it through. But these movies nail it. They hit it on the head. It feels like, yes, as a fan of these things, they got it right. Hands down. The Easter eggs in both of them, like there's some deep cut Easter eggs in both of these movies. There's a reference to the old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, which is pretty hilarious in the context that it happens in the movie. Um, there's so many places in the Super Mario Brothers movie where I'm like, I know exactly what game that's from, and I know exactly where they are in the world. It was nuts. Like I was watching, I was like, that's from Super Mario 64. That's from Super Mario Brothers. That's from Donkey Kong or Super Mario or Mario Kart. There's a if you've seen the trailers, you know there's an awesome Mario Kart sequence in the movie. It kicks ass. And the interplay between Donkey Kong and Mario is so much fun. And the interplay between Mario and Luigi is great. The interplay between Toad and Peach have a nice back and forth. It's full of it's also got like that childhood wonder you kind of want. Like I haven't seen all the movies this year, but like I would not rule out Super Mario Brothers being my cartoon of the year, my animated film of the year. It's so it it it, it gets the Mario right. It does it well. It does the franchise justice. I thought it was entertaining and a little heartfelt, and the whole deal between Mario and Luigi and their dynamic and the quest and the humor and the Easter eggs. I just if you grew up with Super Mario Brothers or any of the Mario games, really, the more games you played, I think honestly the better. But if you grew up with any of the Mario games, then I really can't recommend this movie enough. And if you play D&D, then I can't recommend that movie enough. Now, I guess the ultimate question is, do I think these movies are good enough to impress an audience unfamiliar with the concepts? And I'll be honest with you, that's not a clear answer for me. Now Dungeons and Dragons, I think, is a exciting and funny enough movie that and it's got enough heart and whatnot in it that I feel like an average audience who's not familiar with the source material, as long as they're into fantasy stuff, can have a good time. And also, however, that being said, don't go into it thinking it's going to be like Lord of the Rings. Even though every D&D game is based off Lord of the Rings to some degree, this movie is going to chart it's a more D&D is almost never as serious as Lord of the Rings, is what I'm trying to say here. So don't go into it expecting it to be as serious as Lord of the Rings type of deal. So yeah. Now the Super Mario Brothers movie is a little bit harder for me to determine if non-fans will be into it. I think first of all, it's only an hour and a half. So if you go and you weren't that into it, then you didn't waste too much of your life. But if you're a fan, oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm getting away from the point I'm trying to make here. But it's hard for me to tell you because I am a big Mario fan, and this one hit me right in the feels. Right, yeah, no, it delivered. Mario delivered. Super Mario Brothers absolutely delivers. So does Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of critics seem to think that Super Mario Brothers lacked any heart. I disagree. I think it has a decent amount of heart, and I found it funny enough that I feel like a regular audience who aren't Super Mario fans should at least be able to get a chuckle or two out of it. If you like really grounded stuff, then you're probably in the wrong movie. It's a lot of it's a lot of silly fantasy. I mean, honestly, both of them, but they are both splendid, family friendly, fun action adventures. I Dungeons and Dragons maybe a little bit. Dungeons and Dragons maybe a little more violent and dark, so you're not necessarily for the whole family. Um, but Super Mario Brothers, oh, great family picture, honestly. Um, just your kids will like it. Definitely recommend both of these films. Absolutely fantastic time. If you're a fan, you're gonna jizz your pants. I was doing so well at not being inappropriate this episode, and I couldn't keep it up. I couldn't I couldn't stop myself. Okay, so okay, well let's try a different euphemism for jizz your pants. One that's less dirty. You made magic in your pants. You filled your pants with miracle juice. Um, you had an adult oopsie. You had a sexy oopsie. You had um, you had a party in your pants, and no one cleaned up. Oh no, I got it. You had a party in your pants, and the big guy threw up. I'm making finger guns, but it doesn't. Ah, damn it. Yeah, no. If you like this, let me know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it's kind of funny. I don't know if it's funny enough. I want it to be more emotive than it is. People listening on Spotify are like, what the fuck is he talking about? I almost didn't use the F word. Oh well, I only used it once, I think. Maybe I'll make the skits at the beginning and end extra obscene. Anyways, if you've enjoyed the soothing tones of my voice, then please like, subscribe, follow us on both Spotify and YouTube. If you feel like, I believe there is a support button on my on one of my pages, the YouTube one, not the YouTube one. No, it's not the YouTube one. Don't listen to that. It's on the Spotify one. Thank you for listening. If you have any desire to get in touch with me or complain at me about my opinions and why I'm wrong, please feel free to email the show at rubenuncut@gmail.com. Also the name of the YouTube channel, Ruben Uncut. Stay tuned for minor spoilers. There's only gonna be one. It'll be real short after the commercial, which I'm not getting paid for currently at the time of this recording. Okay, I really only have one spoiler that I want to go over here because there was one little thing in Dungeons and Dragons that did where I was like, no, that's wrong. That's not how they should have done that. So okay, this is a big spoiler, so I'll be doing the skip ahead to the end. Come back and listen to this part after you've seen the movie. However, here's what it is. Okay, so at the end of the movie, of course, Chris Pine's character is Holga has been poisoned, and they're freaking out. And of course, his daughter actually grew up with Holga being like her mother figure. So this is brutal for his daughter. And in the exchange, like they look at each other, and Chris Pine says to his daughter, "We can only use it once," referring to the awakening thing, implying that he wants her to know that if they use it here, they can't use it on a real mother. And the girl's like, "I know," and then they use it. And I gotta be honest, that's backwards. That's not how that scene should have played out. Like what? I think that's wrong. I would have written it differently. Maybe they had a different thing in mind, but in all honesty, I genuinely think that it should have been. Why not make the daughter empathetic? Why not make them both more empathetic? Because like she should know how much he misses his wife, and he should be recognizing right then how much she needs Holga. So I feel like, honestly, the girl should say, "We only need it. We can only use it once," and then her dad should say, "I know," and then he should do it anyways. I think I just that's how it should. That's better. I'm sorry, it's better. And if you want to disagree with me, you can email me at rubenuncut@gmail.com. Who knows? Maybe you can come on the podcast and we can either politely discuss it, or if you think it's more fun, we can yell about it. All righty. Once again, thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and enjoy the cool and refreshing tones of my melodic voice as you drift off to sleep, leaving the playlist on. Wait, do I benefit from that? Then I just wouldn't know how many people were actually listening to it. Probably good for the algorithm, though. All right. Thank you. Have a fantastic whatever.
Oh my God, there's no one to help my child. What am I going to do? Fear not. We can help you out. Who are you guys? Well, we're just a group of adventurers. Are any of you a certified doctor? Well, no, but our cleric can use healing spells. These healing spells aren't crystals, are they? Well, they're not crystals. God damn it.